Hello again. This is Stephen Smith, the Viola Guy. Today I'm answering common questions about the viola. Here's one from Sonia R. Sonia writes, "Dear Viola Guy, what size viola should I play?" Well, basically, Sonia, for the best sound, you'll want to play the largest viola you can handle comfortably. Here's a way to see if the viola is the right size for you. Hold the instrument up to your neck, then reach around with your left hand and curl your fingers around the scroll, like so. If your fingers can reach most of the way around the scroll and you still have a slight bend in your arm, then this viola is not too big for you. If, however, you can't reach the scroll at all, then the viola is too big. Or maybe it's a guitar. Here's a question from Zach. Zach asks, "Dear Viola Guy, should I use a shoulder rest with my viola?" Tell you what, Zach, try this experiment. Using a shoulder rest on your viola, try holding it up in playing position without using either hand. You should be able to support the instrument with just your shoulder and the weight of your head. Then take the shoulder rest off and try the same thing. But be sure you have someone there to catch the viola when you drop it. Here's a question from Dave C. Dave says, "Dear Viola Guy, what's with that weird clef the viola uses?" Well, Dave, most instruments use one of these clefs for their notated music, either treble or bass, and some, like the piano, use both. Did I say most instruments use these clefs? I should have said all instruments. All instruments, that is, except the viola. This is the alto clef, which is used only by the viola. And it's a complete mystery to all the non-viola players in the world. So if you're a viola player, you are automatically a member of an exclusive club made up of the only people who can read this clef. Kind of exciting, huh? Here's a question from Anton K. Anton writes, "Dear Viola Guy, my dad found on the internet a brand new viola for only $50. Should I buy it?" Well, Anton, the answer to that question is kind of complicated, but I think I can boil it down to just one word. No. If the price of an instrument is especially low, it's a safe bet that it's been put together with cheap materials, it was made with poor quality workmanship, and was set up badly. But it will sound every bit as good as it was made. Besides sounding bad, cheap instruments will go out of tune, warp, have cracks open up, and more. Plus, repair people will often decline to work on cheap instruments as the repairs won't last. The market price for a brand new, good quality student viola is around $650 to $700. Can you imagine what an instrument that's 1/14th that price must be like? Ew. This question is from Bennett, who writes, "Dear Viola Guy, can I use a violin bow with my viola?" Great question, Bennett. You could use a violin bow on your viola, but notice that the viola bow is thicker and heavier than the violin bow because the strings on a viola take a little more weight to make a full sound. Now, if it's hard for you to tell the difference between a violin bow and a viola bow, just take a look at the frog, that's this part here. You'll notice that on a violin bow, the frog has a square corner, whereas on the viola bow, it has a round corner. You might say that the viola bow is more well-rounded. And finally today, here's a question from Lillian P. Lillian writes, "Dear Viola Guy, which is easier to play, violin or the viola?" Well, Lillian, let's put it this way. Viola technique is essentially identical to that of the violin, except that the viola is larger and takes more effort. You might think of it as climbing halfway up a mountain versus making it all the way to the top. It takes more work to get to the peak, but the view is a whole lot better. Well, that's all for today. This is the Viola Guy saying thanks for watching. See you next time.